This is Toyota's newest vehicle, the Land Cruiser FJ. But what exactly is it? Let's talk about it. Hey there everyone, welcome back to FJX 2000 Productions and another episode of Let's FJ. My name is Hayden, and in this video I want to talk about the newly announced Land Cruiser FJ that Toyota finally unveiled to the world on Tuesday, October 10th, 2025. I also want to compare it to the Toyota FJ Cruiser, which this channel primarily focuses on. And as a longtime fan of the FJ Cruiser, I'll give my personal opinion on this new Land Cruiser FJ. But as always, let me know your own thoughts in the comments below. The Land Cruiser FJ is essentially a pared-down version of the Land Cruiser 250 series that came out a couple of years ago. This new FJ model is smaller in nearly every dimension than the 250, which makes sense since it's targeted mainly toward global markets and not North America. In many parts of the world, especially in Asia, vehicles tend to be smaller, so this new Land Cruiser FJ will fit much better on narrow streets and in tight parking spaces. Still, Toyota is advertising it as a vehicle built with ruggedness and capability in mind. But is it worthy of wearing the Land Cruiser badge? And how does it compare to the true FJ, the FJ Cruiser? Well, honestly, it's like comparing apples and oranges. These are completely different vehicles built for totally different purposes. If I had to make an analogy, I'd say the Land Cruiser FJ is to the 250 series what the Bronco Sport is to the actual Ford Bronco. They share a name and some styling cues, but that's about it. Alright, for kicks and giggles, let's compare some stats. The new Land Cruiser FJ is smaller than the original FJ Cruiser. It's got a 2,580mm wheelbase, which is about 10 inches shorter than the FJ Cruiser's 2,690mm or 105.9-inch wheelbase. Overall length comes in at 4,575mm or just over 180 inches, about 4 inches shorter than the FJ Cruiser's 183.9-inch length. Width-wise, the Land Cruiser FJ measures 1,855mm, while the FJ Cruiser is 1,905mm, or 75 inches, making the new one about 2 inches narrower. So overall, it's only slightly more compact than the original FJ, giving it a little edge when it comes to handling tighter trails and urban driving. But the big improvement in maneuverability comes in the turning radius. The Land Cruiser FJ is advertised with a 5.5 meter or 18-foot radius compared to the FJ Cruiser's huge 40-plus foot turning radius. That's a massive difference, cutting the turning radius in half. But with the shorter wheelbase and probably tighter turning angle on the steering rack, it makes sense. The FJ Cruiser, however, has its reliable 4-liter V6, putting out around 260 horsepower and providing plenty of torque for towing and climbing. The Land Cruiser FJ, on the other hand, uses the 2TR FE 2.7-liter gasoline 4-cylinder engine, producing about 160 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, they're not even in the same league when it comes to power or performance. The FJ Cruiser could tow, crawl, and cruise with ease, while the new Land Cruiser FJ seems much more focused on reliability and fuel efficiency. Let's be honest, our FJ Cruisers were never known for their gas mileage. On the plus side, the new FJ includes modern safety tech like Toyota Safety Sense with its pre-collision system, which is definitely a welcome upgrade for daily driving. And with all the new tech and integrated infotainment system, it leaves the FJ Cruiser in the dust when it comes to modern amenities. Now in fairness, Toyota's clearly going for global appeal here. The Land Cruiser FJ is built on the IMV ladder frame platform, the same one used by the Hilux and Fortuner. That makes it rugged, simple, and easy to maintain, perfect for regions like Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, where durability and serviceability are crucial. It features part-time four-wheel drive with low range, a 6-speed automatic transmission, a rear differential locker, and surprisingly, Toyota claims it has wheel articulation comparable to the Land Cruiser 70 series. If that's true, that's seriously impressive for a small off-roader to be in the same articulation league as a vehicle that has solid axles. One really interesting design choice is Toyota's use of segmented front and rear bumpers. Toyota says it will make repairs easier, allowing you to replace only the damaged sections, but it also opens the door for customization. That's a great idea for people who actually use their rigs off-road. And it means easier aftermarket bumper installs and cheaper repairs after a trail day, something we FJ owners can definitely appreciate since our stock bumpers are similar. If we step up to the Land Cruiser 250 series, the big brother of this new FJ, the 250 rides on Toyota's GAF frame, the same base as the full-size Land Cruiser 300, and offers higher performance engines, more off-road tech, and a much larger footprint. So while the 250 is the modern, family-friendly Land Cruiser that cranks up comfort and capability, the Land Cruiser FJ feels more like a mini, utilitarian, affordable version of the legendary off-roader. Design-wise, I like that it borrows cues from the Land Cruiser lineup. Those retro round headlights, the boxy proportions, and even some neat accessories found on the overseas customized specification prototype, like the Molly panels on the rear door, higher clearance bumpers, the ARB roof rack, rock slider side steps, and even a little Land Cruiser branded snorkel. One thing that stands out to me though is all the plastic body cladding. It really reminds me of the Subaru Wilderness models, probably a practical move for trail protection. But back to the question we all want to know, is this the FJ Cruiser reborn? Honestly, not really. The original FJ Cruiser was retro-styled, overbuilt, and unapologetically tough. It had a short wheelbase, high clearance, and capable four-wheel drive system with A-track, a rear diff locker, and in later years, crawl control. You could get it with the 5-speed auto or the 6-speed manual transmission, so everyone could drive it their way. And the design with the two-tone paint job, round headlights, Toyota logo, and boxy body really made it instantly recognizable and iconic. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it established a dedicated following due to its capability, reliability, and uniqueness. The Land Cruiser FJ, on the other hand, feels more like Toyota's answer to the growing demand for smaller, more affordable adventure rigs in developing markets. Even here in North America, we'd love to see something like that. A simple, capable Toyota off-roader that doesn't cost $60,000. Not long ago, Toyota released the Hilux Champ, a simple zero-frills truck that also uses the same IMV platform as this new Land Cruiser FJ. Something like this in America would fill the small truck niche that is currently being filled by the growing popularity of used and imported K-trucks. If the new FJ is tough, simple, and reliable, it checks a lot of the same boxes as the FJ Cruiser, but it could never really replace what we were given with the FJ Cruiser. It's also worth mentioning that this new Land Cruiser FJ looks like it evolved directly from Toyota's compact cruiser EV concept. If you haven't seen the video I did about that vehicle on my channel, I'll leave a link for it down below. But you'll notice the similarities, same general shape and proportions, just thankfully not an electric vehicle. So do I hate the new Land Cruiser FJ? Not at all. I actually think it's pretty cool. My only gripe is the use of FJ in the name, since that naturally invites comparison to the original FJ Cruiser. And let's face it, most people will just assume this is the second generation FJ. But the buzz and excitement around this new model really shows how strong the FJ community still is. Maybe, if it performs well overseas, we'll eventually see it, or something like it, here in North America. And if that happens, maybe Toyota will give it a bit more power, some upgraded features, or maybe we'll even just get a true FJ Cruiser successor. You never know. Anyways, that's my breakdown and first impressions of the new Land Cruiser FJ. What do you guys think? Is this a worthy addition to the Land Cruiser family, or should the FJ name belong only to the FJ Cruiser? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video or enjoy FJ Cruiser content, please consider liking and subscribing, but keep on FJ cruising and take care.